What's up guys, hope you all are doing well and welcome back to another Cyberzoic review. Today we will be reviewing the Smilodon Populator, the Saberbeast armor that's laid here, and Dragolina. Now in my previous Cyberzoic review, after watching it myself, I noticed how long the video was. I think it was like an hour if I remember correctly, and I do apologize for that. So, for the sake of making the video shorter and less overly complex, I'm not going to be showing and explaining things in too much detail such as the packaging and the instructions. I don't find that necessary to go over greatly because we're here to talk about the figures and their awesomeness. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up on that. So, without further ado, let's dive in. So, how this is going to work is I'm basically just going to go over the packaging real quickly, so just showing it off. I won't do too much talking except for maybe the back where all the stats are and all that. Same with the cards when we get to those. So, let me show you first the Smilodon Populator. And this set is from the Dragon Clan, which is why it's green. And this is important. It says for use with 1/12 scale, and that's noteworthy because there's also a 1/18 scale Smilodon figure, and if you tried to put this armor on the 1/18 scale, it won't work because the armor would be too big. So just wanted to let you know about that. Here's the side, so you got the Dragon Clan logo right there. The package art here, same as the front obviously. Top view with a little window feature, always like that. On the bottom, everyone who worked on this figure. And finally, here's the back. I'll leave it here if you want to pause and read. Alrighty. So, here's the backdrop that I took from the packaging that the Smilodon came in. And as you can see, this thing is standing on its own, so I don't even have to hold it for y'all, so that's pretty convenient. So, it's set on this very neat arid-like landscape. You got some canyon structures in the back with some foliage or possibly grass, trees maybe. You got the open sky with some clouds, a foreground here where the Smilodon would be, as you already saw in the packaging. On the other side, we got a green grid as well, so very cool. And I also thought I would share the larger version of the package art as well. Oh wait, cover that up, you can't see that yet. No, I'm just kidding. This guy will be for a future video though. He's part of Wave C, so it'll be a while before we get to him, but he'll eventually have his own video, so. Until then, no, I'm kidding. So, anyway, it's basically the same backdrop as I've shown you before, except you got the dragon, obviously. You got the Smilodon with the Saberbeast armor on, got Dragolina, and basically in a walking position there, so kind of really cool, just surveying the landscape, so that's a really neat scene going on there. So, yeah, thought I would share that. Here's Dragolina's packaging, and she also plays a pretty significant role in the Cyberzoic comic, which again, check out if you haven't, it's awesome. The link to it is in the description for my Allosaurus review, so wanted to throw that out there. So I'm going to bring this closer so you can see it, everything better. So got her profile there, Dragolina, Gaia 2, Commander. On the back, if you want to pause and read that, right there. You got that cool action scene on the top as well. And of course, other figures that you can get as well, so. There we go. Very cool. So, let's take a look at the cards. And I'll show them to you all at once first, like this, and separately. So, the first one is the Smilodon without the armor. There you go. Very cool. And you got the back with the stats as well. Okay. Next one is the Smilodon with the armor, the Saberbeast armor, with Dragolina riding them, surveying the view. On the back, you got those stats as well. And yes, they are different, because this is the armor stats, this is the actual Smilodon stats, so as you see there. And finally, we got Dragolina. And the back just shows the Dragon Clan logo. So, I'm actually not sure if this is true or not, but judging by the head shape, and I guess the forked tongue, if you can see there, kind of says otherwise, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a T-Rex. Now, if you're familiar with the Zoic trading card game, there's an art piece attributable to it that features the lizard dragon, which is also that guy right there, fighting a T-Rex. Coincidence? I think not. But it could also be another dragon without spikes, who knows, but it's still really cool. I mean, for all I know, this might not even be the lizard dragon. It could just be like maybe a simplified version of it, but it's still really neat. So, yeah. So that's it for the cards. I'll show them to you all together. So, there you go. And the other side as well. Like that. And I think I mentioned this before, but these cards, adding to the Zoic, they are playable in the Zoic trading card game, which comes out real soon. So these cards are playable, so very neat. So that's it for those. I will show you the artwork next. So here's my artwork for the Smilodon. And I must say, I fear I have underestimated my ability to draw mammalian quadrupeds, so I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And this is actually a good time to mention my DeviantArt page if I haven't previously. I've already posted a new and improved, fully colored version of the Smilodon, so you can check that out. I'll post a link into the description if you want to look at that. And you can also check out my other Cyberzoic illustrations I've done, as well as from the Raptor series. And actually, if you do a side-by-side comparison of the two pieces, so this one and the one on DeviantArt, you can actually kind of see the improvement that I did there. So yeah, very cool. So here you got the Smilodon with the Saberbeast armor on. Got my little Among Us character replacing Dragolina because I cannot draw people. I'm sorry. And none of the blast effects are featured because this illustration was done before the blast effects became an add-on with the armors. I think I mentioned that before, but in case I didn't, there you go. So yeah, it's really awesome. I'll give you a little close-up there so you can see the details better. So yeah. And as you can see, this was done back in 2024 and compared to the one that is more recent, a month ago, 2026 June. So 2 years, that's like a 2-year gap of improvement. So that's really good. I'm really proud of how, even from back then, this is still pretty good from back then. Even though there's some flaws to it. Like I think there's supposed to be like a gap there. I think the helmet is a little bit more elongated. The claws kind of like, but I think it's still really cool. Oh, also this feature here, and if you see in my newer illustration, they're actually pointed up sideways like this, as opposed to their downward diagonal position there. That's because, well, you can see here, right there. That's why this guy, that I basically just not copied, but I based this illustration off of the prototype as well as this. But the package art was kind of like my second inspiration, whereas the prototype was my first. So yeah, very cool. So yeah, that's pretty much everything from the packaging, the cards, the artwork. So without further ado, let's start reviewing the figures. So to start off here, we have the Smilodon itself, and I really love this guy. He's actually my first Cenozoic figure ever from Creative Beast. And yes, the company is making Cenozoic Beasts now. They've already made a couple, like there's a black variant of the same scaling. I think it's sometimes referred to as the Panther Smilodon. They also have, like I mentioned earlier, one that's a little smaller, that being the 1/18 scale with a different coloration. Andrewsarchus is another, Mammoths, and definitely more to come. This guy is very neat, and I only got him because he's in the Cyberzoic line, so... So along with the figure, you get an interchangeable head here that has this like roaring expression, or maybe yawning, because that's me every time I finish one of these videos after I mess up so many times. So let me give you a closer up detail of this guy because he is really cool. I really like this head, and despite the lack of posability with the tongue there, I really like the intimidating roaring there. It's really cool. He's very angry, like he's gonna bite the camera. So yeah. Now for some reason this head looks more orange than this one does. I don't know if that's just the glossiness that's throwing it off, or that's just how it was painted. I think that's just how it was painted, but either way it's still really neat. Here's the back, too. I guess that means the second head. Here's the bottom of the head. Very neat. So you also got interchangeable ears too. So the one on the Smilodon are just the normal perked up ears. These ears are faced back. It would probably be best to use for this head, but you can definitely change them up to your liking. That's why they're interchangeable, and that's why they can come off. So I'm not going to do that to this guy because I think it's the best example, because for some reason this one is loose. I don't know why. But yeah. So I'll do just a little quick side-by-side comparison of the two so you can see the obvious difference in head shape. There's the front view, side view. Oh, upside down there. The top, bottom. Very cool. So you got these large canines, and I'll just show you some more detail on this head especially. And this guy also has the glossiness in the mouth as well, and on the teeth. You can see the light there. There you go. Very neat. So, moving on to the neck, you got this interchangeable fur tuft here, and I assume this piece would probably go best with this guy because it's all puffed up, whereas this one's kind of more normal. But, again, whichever one works best for you. I have this one here just because it looks cooler, to be honest, no offense. Now, I will say when putting on the armor, you will have to have certain pieces on so the armor will fit onto the Smilodon more easily, like the ears, but I'll talk about that more in detail when we get to the armor. So, moving on, you got these front limbs here with 4 points of articulation. You got some ups and downs or forwards, backwards. They go 360 like this. I'll show it on the other side as well. These hind legs, however, they're more of like 180, but they can go 360. I've done it before, but I'm not going to do it again just because I don't want to risk anything. It's mainly this area here that's kind of protruding that. It's not really, although, okay, well, you know, I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. I wouldn't recommend doing that just because, but you got that as well. I'm just going to do it on all of them. There we go. Alright, so you also have interchangeable paws. So there's 2 pairs that have the claws sticking out, which are these guys right here. And you also have 2 where the claws, or the talons, whatever you want to call them, are tucked into the paws. So I'll show you a little comparison there. So the back ones here go to the forelimbs, the ones back here go to the hind limbs. So, let's see. Very neat. Now, obviously, they are different in size, so the bigger ones go to the forelimbs, and the smaller ones go to the hind limbs. So, and also on here, this also helps too, in case you get confused on like, which side do they go to? Well, they are actually marked. So you got left here. It's hard to tell with the lighting, but and it also has right, R2 for R2D2. Well, they both say L2, R2. I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's just like, no. Oh, I know, because these probably say L1, R1, L1, R1, because these are like the OG. These were the modified, I guess, but still very neat. Now, moving on to the torso, you got this section here that you can move up and down, like so. Up, down, up, down. Now this piece right here, this like flappy piece, it's actually rubbery. It's not solid plastic. So that's awesome because you can move his body left and right. So we got left like that and right. So you get like a nice curvature. Oops. Yeah, I mean, you got a nice curvature there. So he's like facing this way, facing that way. Actually, perfect opportunity to put this guy on so that we can see what it looks like on him. And this piece sticks on better probably because it doesn't have that like piece that like sometimes comes off because this area is blocking it, but very neat. Now, I've done this before. You can actually get them into a sitting position, like you know how cats have that, like they sit begging for food or whatever. So let me see if I can do that real quick. So I'll try to show you how I do it. It's kind of like, I think, let's see if I can, something like this. Okay, now it looks like he's pooping. Hold on a second. There we go. Good kitty, good kitty. So, onto the hind limbs, the same thing, 4 points of articulation, and always remember to heat up your joints, never forcefully move them if they're stiff. You got these sections here that can be moved. I really love how many points of articulation the legs have. Like you can just move the paws individually. It makes it easier, especially when it's like different positions, like if he's pouncing or if he's just sitting like I did a few seconds ago. Very neat. So finally, you got the tail, which can be moved 360 as well as up and down, left and right. It's very small, doesn't even have a wire on it or anything. It's just a solid plastic piece. It's the only figure I have so far that spared my sanity for not having the tail separate in the packaging, so I didn't have to sacrifice my fingers for that. So, overall, I really love this figure. I love the beautiful natural coloring of it, the attention to detail throughout. Like you got these muscles on its arm, on its limbs. You got this like mane like structure on its face there. I find that really cool. I like that feature a lot. And even the bottom here, like look at the bottom. I haven't shown the bottom yet. You got this nice beigey texture coloration throughout, as well as on the neck here, especially here, and on the eyes as well, around the eyes I should say. Maybe it's because he's getting old. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, he might be old, I don't know, hasn't been confirmed, but hey, they'll probably release, they'll probably say something about that in the future, who knows, when they release more Cyberzoic or something. And like even like on the elbows here, you got some fur there on the high limbs as well, under the tail. Just the different textures throughout. I just find that really cool. It really gives some realistic touches to this guy, so very neat. So all very nice. So let's go ahead and review the rider, that being Dragolina. So here we have Dragolina looking very awesome. She has two different heads, one normal and another with a yelling war face kind of expression. Let me see your war face, ah! She's also got a few pairs of hands here, so we got the gripping ones, the other one is attached to her. There's the one that balls into a fist, and these two that are kind of like reaching out. Very cool. So, of course, you got some variety with the hands too. All throughout, you got this really neat metallic green armor on her, continuing the trend with the metallic armor, and even some spikes throughout as well. There's some gray on her chest and in the pelvic region. You got some dark greens as well. She's also got green hair and some armor on her head as well. So let me show you her in different angles so you can get a good close-up on the detailing. So, very neat. With them abs. There we go. I'll let it focus for a second. Here's the side view on the right side. On the left side. Back. And these little slits here, these little brown slits right here, that's where the swords go, and this little hook is where the shield goes. Let's see if I can. It's a little fragile, but just to show you real quickly, like that. So she pretty much has the same articulation joints as Argentius, and I'll assume that most, if not every other figure will too. So she's got the head motion, the lefts, rights, some downs and ups, but mostly left and right. The torso here, like that, all around even. Got the motion on her arms, hand swivels, that. Indeed. Got the leg joints, the double joints, of course, always the coolest feature. That's just a biased opinion, but I just find it really neat. Her feet swivels as well, and even the little feet have spikes on them as well, so that's really neat. Let's see if I can. There you go. So she comes with a few accessories. Let me see if I can get on the stand real quickly so I can show you those. That's good enough. So she comes with a few accessories. You got a pair of swords here. These really cool swords. I'll show them both to you right here. And they're also metallic-y too. The blade part is metallic, so that's really neat. And they got little, if you look closely, you can see little like spikes on them, or ridges, like how you see on knives. I forgot what they're called. Serrations. And of course, you got the shield that has a dragon on it, which is really neat. Now, at first glance, when I played around with her posing and all that, I thought her armor looked the same on both sides, but it actually doesn't. There are a few unique differences that really gives her some character. The spikes on her shoulders being the most noticeable. So the ones on the right, there's only one on the right side, and there's 4 on the left. You can see that. There's one there, 4 on that side. And not just the spikes, but the pads themselves are different too. So this one only has 1 ridge on it, while this side has 3. So it's like, yeah, you can kind of see there. Very neat. The spiky ridges on the forearm are different too. So like on this side there's some ridges here, or on the other side there's none. It's like smooth. And if you look closely on her chest here, there's like a green armor strip on her left side, while there's one absent on her right. And actually, you probably already noticed, but even the swords are different too. This one is shorter and more robust, while this one is longer and more gracile. And even the little, there's like spikes, there's more spikes on this one than the other one. cool. I don't know if the handle is... Oh yeah, this one has a spike on it. The longer one has a spike on it. This one's round, spherical. Very cool. It's the little details you come across when playing with these figures. It's really cool. So, overall, a very neat figure. Love the range of motion and the many different poses you can get with her. It's all very cool. So with that settled, let's go ahead and review the Smilodon Armored Up. Okay, so I apologize, I forgot, but I wanted to quickly skim through the instructions because I think they'll help give you a more laid out visual of the different mechanics that I will highlight in the next segment. So real quickly, here's the Smilodon instructions. So it shows the interchangeable paws, head, and ears. I'll leave it here if you want to read it. Okay. And here's the armor instructions, and they're pretty self-explanatory. All these instructions for putting on the armor and configuring it are pretty easy to follow, so I'll just give you a chance to look at the different steps. And I pull all this real quick. There we go. And I'll go slow so you can see everything better. There we go. And again, I'll explain all these components like the neutral ears and the fur tuft when we get to the armor, but I thought I would show you this first so you can get a good idea on what I'm talking about. All the different blasters, all that. And actually, I just now saw this. If you go to the Creative Beast Studio channel on YouTube, and I don't know if you can pick up QR codes in videos or not, but just in case you can, it's right here if you want to scan that or whatever. But you can always search them up on YouTube and find the video that talks about the tutorial on how to put this guy together. So, very cool. Alright, so with all those out of the way, now we can go ahead and review the Smilodon Armored Up. Alrighty, so here's the Smilodon equipped with the Saberbeast armor. I'm keeping Dragolina off of him so I can show the armor better, especially in this region. Now, since the armor does not configure into anything, it's just armor, I decided to just put it all on the Smilodon and omit that potential section of reviewing the armor itself, just to save up time. So, let's start off with the helmet. So, for the helmet, I'm going to take this piece off real quick so I can show it to you better. So, with the helmet, you need these ears, these perked up ears, for the helmet to stay on properly, and that's because the ears actually fit into these holes inside, if you can see. Yeah, there you go. And the ears that face back, these ones do not. I'll try to show you if I can. As you can see, it won't like properly fit in there, so you need these ones if you want it to fit on. Snug. But overall, the helmet itself is really cool. I love the sculpt. I love these like metal pieces that represent the ears, these little stripes here, the centerpiece that has a couple spikes on it. Very cool, very neat. On the forelimbs, you got these guys that have two small blasters, each of them having these blue blast effects that you just slip in like this, take them out, and put them back in. And they actually move around 360 as well. Like that. I'll show you on the other side too. Again, love the sculpt. I love the texture as well. You can definitely feel the texture on these guys. Let's go 360 like that. Now, for some reason, these can be a little fragile, especially when moving the forelimbs around, so just be aware of that. If you play around with this guy with the armor on, just be aware that these will probably end up loosening. But so going up here, I kept the normal fur tuft so the other one doesn't block the armor. You probably could use either or in this case, but I decided to use this one just to be safe. So here, I'm going to put this guy back on so you can see him. So here you got these larger missiles, which can be moved around as well. They're kind of limited because these fins kind of block it a little bit, so they're not 360. But you can still take them out and point them out backwards if you wanted to. See if I can do that. Really quick. Yeah, there we go. I don't know, that kind of looks silly, but hey, whatever floats your boat. So, they just can't point up, unfortunately, but I guess if you try to, like, do that, but yeah, they probably won't because these guys are blocking, but that's all good. They probably want to face forward anyways because that's where the target will most likely be. Now, it wasn't until playing around with them more when I found out, and I probably already showed this before without realizing I did. These guys right here, they extend. I'll show you the other side as well. So that is a pretty neat feature, and I'll show you on the top view as well. That is really, really cool. So, these larger, different looking blasters that are shooting out lasers have some awesome detailing, metallicness on it too. See if I can show you closer up. These have more like a bronze copper color, so yeah, you can kind of see that. The rest of it's like silver, got some black on there too. Now the laser blast effect itself is different from these smaller guys right here. See if I can get one out. They have a different mold. So, let's see. Here we go. That's better. So yeah, this one's like smoother. These ones are more rough. So, very cool. So, I'm actually going to take these guys off so that way you can see this part a lot easier. Here we go. I'll probably leave them off for the rest of this video here so that way you can see them better. So you got this section that honestly reminds me of a turtle shell for some reason. But you got this really neat texture here, this like rigid texture. I love the green and the jade green as well throughout. You got these little belt pieces here that actually can come off. And you can change them out to the handles so Dragolina can ride the Smilodon. And this is what? This is the... Yeah, this is the right one. These can be a little confusing, trying to figure out how they go on, but they go on like that. And if... so this is what the belt looks like on. So you can get like a comparison of the two together. So I'll probably leave it like that. So very neat. So yeah, you can change out the handle so Dragolina can ride on to the Smilodon. So it's a cool little feature there. Unfortunately, you can't have these two together, but that's okay. It's all good. So you got this saddle here where Dragolina sits on, and the very detailed belt that hooks around the figure. See if I can get it all around here. Very neat. This is actually very, very detailed. It's probably the most detailed armor of this whole thing. No offense. And you probably can't see from the camera, well maybe you can, like, it's like right there. There's a soft pad on the bottom that helps to stay cushioned and prevent the belt from damaging the figure, so that's really nice. I'm glad that that was a thing because after putting the armor on the Smilodon more and more frequently, it would probably start like chipping off the paint or stuff. You don't want that happening now. So, over here, you got these pieces that move around 360, or actually, more like, almost 360, I don't know what that'd be, 340 degrees or something, because this little part's kind of, but I think in the packaging, they're pointed like this, so this is like the proper way to position them, like that. And of course, you got this little section here that holds them in place, so very cool. And I'll give you one more look around so you can see the armor in all its glory, in case I pointed it out of camera for some reason. You got this armor piece too. That's also copper. It's the same color as these guys as well, so that's very neat. So overall, oops. Oh, also just a little something too. The helmet is 3 pieces, so it comes apart in 3 pieces. Well, this one's more loose, so it's like you just clip it on with these little pegs here and hook. This little part here has to hook around the ears, that way it stays snug in there. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but you'll eventually get it, I promise. So overall, very neat armor. I love the greens and the browns and the silvers. I think it goes well with the contrast of the Smilodon's coat and of course matching Dragolina. And it wasn't until a while ago when I found this out. It's actually pretty clever in my opinion. The reason why this Smilodon is a larger scale, it's 1/12 scale, is because it was actually engineered to fight dragons. So it's more aggressive, practically more muscular, and capable of attacking larger and more dangerous creatures. So really cool, really clever. So that is pretty much all the mechanics and details for the Saberbeast armor on the Smilodon. And I'll go ahead and show off some photos. Alright, so there you have it, the Smilodon, the Saberbeast armor, and Dragolina. This is a really awesome set, and it goes around an estimated price of $130. And just a little something that I thought about bringing up in case you didn't know, there's actually a couple reskins of this set, both of which are homages to different shows, such as this one, which was actually in the Kickstarter. It's based off of the Dino Riders Smilodon set, and it's actually available on the Creative Beast Studio website, going for $135 if you're interested in that. And also more recently was this set, which is a homage to Masters of the Universe, and this set will be available at Motu Fest coming up in September. Any leftovers from there will be available on the website for around $125. So definitely check those out if you haven't already. However, I'm probably just going to stick with this set here, unless I win the lottery or something, then I'll consider getting the others too. Overall, I definitely recommend it. It's really neat, and Dragolina is one of the main characters in the Cyberzoic universe in the comic too, so she'll also be a great figure to add to your collection for battle scenes, just regular display, petting the Smilodon like I showed you earlier, whatever your heart desires. So anyway, there you have it. See ya!